Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today, we're going to work on that feather that was in the red feather quilt project that I quilted up a few weeks ago on Long Arm Wednesday. Now, this was actually, it's a pattern, it's free. It's actually called Feather Bed Quilt by Anna Marie Horner, okay? And there's the little thing you can get print off. It's free on the web. I'm sure Pop will put a link in there or URL somewhere where you can click to be able to work away at this project. I'm just going to make 2 feathers to put together and either do it as like a little tabletop or maybe put them pointing together or the ends together. I haven't decided which I want to do yet, as a gift for my sister because she turns 50 on Saturday. So of course it might be a little late, but I will get it to her. So it says all for the cutting instructions and how many pieces you're going to need if you want to make a baby, a twin, a queen, a king, those sorts of things. And of course you can always add lots of negative space in between as well. You don't always have to do those lots of feathers. You're going to like a few here and then a strip of white or black or gray. But I would definitely choose a nice solid color to go as the background and have all the vibrancy be inside those feathers, all those the feather patterns itself. So I just went to my scraps, all the bits that I've been tidying up and cutting to 2.5, and it did say in here you can have a variety of strips. Let me just want it here. So cut them from, especially if you're doing a big quilt, cut them from full widths, not from necessarily fat quarters, okay? That way you get enough to get you across a few feathers. Cutting the strips in varying widths, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches from your sorted fabrics, from one salvage to the other. Cut until you have enough so that once joined on the long passes, one to the next, they will create a strip piece of fabric for dimension. Okay, so I have done that. I have pieced a few. Let me just... And then we'll go back to the pattern pieces, okay, because this is the start of it. Okay, and it shows at the back. What it is, I just copied it. I put it on a piece of paper and I traced it and put the bits together. It says join to A2 and join to A1. And then the E, this E is the right side of the fabric right here. That goes up the very top. And then there's a D, which is down here. It's on the other side, which forms out the top of the feather itself. And then there's B, which is in the bottom side here, which helps form out the bottom of the feather. So you're getting it all shaped around that one solid fabric, so it makes that feather pop up like crazy, okay? So I made mine actually just a little bit longer, I mean, I guess wider. And it even has these little lines on the template, the pattern pieces itself, to help you making sure you're putting it on the right angle, and these lines are lining up with seams, straight seams, that you have going across the quilt. So I want to be able to either have a total mix and match between these 4, because I can flip and flop this pattern. I only need to cut 4 of them, because I'm only doing 2 feathers. But if you have lots, you're going to want to lay them out quite nicely, and they have it all just like this. So you need like 11 of one side and 11 of another to make 22 feathers. So you have to make sure you're flipping and flopping those pieces or to get them, okay? So you have to really be consciously aware of how you're going to lay them out. All right, so I do like the ladybugs. Of course I like the ladybugs. Okay. Actually, I was going to give this a little press first before I started, so just give me a minute and we'll get that done. Press some of these flat, so it's a little bit easier to cut. I thought that'd be a nice little way to bunch of scraps too. This isn't going to be all crazy. This is where you get some really wild bits. And I noticed on the pattern as well, they actually had whole cuts of fabric that were very patterned and colored, that had all sorts of different depth and texture to it. That is actually a whole piece, and they just cut it out and attach that to one of the sides. I'm like, well, that's a good idea. What a way to make a funky fabric go that much farther, right? Okay. So there's my taped template. I'm going to lay it out very similar to what they have here. I kind of want to get different colors. There's lots of colors on this strip of fabric here, these strips of fabric. So, but I want to be able to mix and match them between the feathers. I want some wild stuff. All right, so I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to put up a couple pins, and I think I'm going to trace it. I'm going to trace it and cut it out. because I don't really want to cut my template by going around on my ruler. So let's see, but we'll have to trace it out. So this is kind of, it's going, these lines that here are on the template are going in line with my seams, so I know I've got it in a right position, and I'm just going to trace around it. Okay, and of course that's going to be my cut line, so you probably won't see any of that at all. Oops, do it on the fabric. There we go. I had some on the paper and some on the fabric. So I'm going to do 2 this way, put them side by side-ish, and then 2 totally different way. Okay. Optimize the fabric, the bits that I have here. And I just took my 2.5-inch strips. So these are all 2.5-inch strips. Okay. So there's one. Okay, and then I want to line up another one here so we can get some, maybe up a little bit higher here. And we should be able to get 2 out of the other side over here. A little flat. Hopefully this isn't the fade one, the fade pencil. It's hard to read them. There we go. Okay, we'll trace that out. And then we'll flip it the other way. And hopefully we have the right ones. My neighbor in the barn has been building away like crazy, so, or he's got a contractor there building away for him. I don't know what's going on. Lots of noise happening in the barn. Well, it's the brose, it's the barn house, so. Line that up. Okay. And then here and here. Okay. And then they had 2 laying the opposite direction. So making sure I've got that mentally in my mind of how that's going to work out. And we can go here and then go here. Yeah, that should give us the 2, right? The angle is down the right way. That should give us the opposite side. One hopes. Okay, let's come up a little here so we can get some varying different textures and colors here. Get a little bit more on the gray. Here. While I'm here, I might as well cut these 2 out. Okay. Just to make sure before I go and pin and trace the other ones that this is the right way I want them to go. Or this is the way they need to go. Sometimes in a pattern, they don't always tell you to flip and flop it when you're supposed to. Okay. That'll off the bottom. Okay, so there's 1/2. It's a beautiful project, like a great plan to do if you had, you know, a stack of fat quarter bundles, but you could, it would be so beautiful and rainbowy colored. I thought about doing it with my fat quarter bundle, but then I thought, I don't know if I really wanted to make feathers out of that fabric, so I think I'd rather use some of my scraps and make something for Elizabeth. I think she would like. Okay. All right, so there's 2 of one side, because that's not going to be, that'd be all on one side, but if we had it the opposite way, like that, that's what makes me think, is that one going to be the right way? No, it's not going to, so I actually need to flip the pattern. And then if I cut that one, that would be the right shape. See, I thought so. That was like, okay, I got to sort this out in my mind first before I get to figuring that out. Here, let's, as long as it's the opposite. Let's figure this out. Hold on. Okay, so those are the lines going that way. They might be flipped and flopped. I think I would have liked it to go to that way, but there's not enough. And that's 2. All right. This is the way it is, homies. Okay, now so you get a little bit more of an angle on that. All right, and then we'll pin. Because like that just visually wasn't really kind of working right. And then we'll just shift the other one down a little bit. Easy peasy. As long as it's got a different variety, that's all that matters. This would be beautiful in batiks, especially if you had a, you know, jelly roll or something like that you didn't know what to do with, or you got gifted it, or you got a gift certificate and you really wanted all that beautiful fabric, then go and get it. Okay, here, and then. Right, because that would be that piece right there. Right, exactly. Okay, just want to make sure. Triple, double check. Okay, scoot that over a little bit here so I can make sure. This is going to be a little bit of a different angle on this one, but right, unique nonetheless. Unique nonetheless. Okay. There we go. Now we will trace this one out and then cut them both. Kind of a soggy day here today, but that's all right. The showers bring the flowers. Okay, now here and here, put that off to the side. So that's template A1 and 2. And then you have B, and then you have F1 and 2 that you have to tape together. And then there's C. But I found C was just 17.5 inches by an inch and like an eighth. So that was easier to measure because it was just a straight line. It just ends up being the sides, I guess the feather middle itself, like the stem. Okay, and then here. Getting on the line. Okay. Okay, there's that one. And this one just needs to trim up. Perfect. Okay, so this will go into the scrappy pile because we don't need those anymore. So we should have one for this side there with our little stem between, and then one for this side. Okay, of course we can mix them and match them. We can, if you like one that goes a little bit more together, then go for it. You know, whatever keeps you happy. I even pieced the pink a little bit on that one. Okay, so now what they have us doing is adding, it is the B pieces to the end pieces here. So you're gonna have to go like that and like that, attaching these to there, and then this one to here and that one to there. So that's what we're gonna do next. And then that'll be these. We sew this to there, yeah, and then we flip the tops. That's what seals it up at the top. Then we do the we press it, and we trim it, and then we add the D and then the E. Okay. Good instructions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. So let's add our B's to the bottom. B's to the bottom. Sorry. Little sip of tea there. It was very, like I said, very chilly this morning. So I was happy to have my tea when I got back. Okay, there's that one. Okay, and let's help building out the feather. Great way to use your scraps. I mean, really. It's the whole scrap busting year. That's what it was all last year. Use your stash and make beautiful things. Your scraps is still your stash, so. I've made lots of things. So many things. And shared lots of things too. All right, there we go. So we could give those a little press. Okay. Give that just for the heat, the oven on the way down. And then here. Like I said, you totally use some, we have, you know, animal print fabric or something like that. That would have been fun for the sides. Okay, so we're going to line one up on one side and one on the other, and sew down. Okay, so let's just, actually, let's trim this one up here. Just a little over. Okay. Line it up there. Line up the bottom first, because that seems to be the most important, because this is where you're finishing off the bottom. Okay, and then come all the way up to the top, and then we'll trim off any extra. You know, pop a pin if you need to. I think I'll just wing her. Get it? That's a joke. Make sure I'm doing the right side. Yes, I am. And it says you can also applique these feathers down onto something, so I think it'd be a nice addition to a bag. You have a one feather one way and a feather another, or maybe even shorten the pattern, make it a little bit smaller or something like that. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. So there we go, just added that in between. Line this up. Make sure those points are coming together. Yep. That they go to point and slant on the outside. So yes. We'll have to lay these seams in a way so they stay. Fold them down as I go. Okay. I have nice little springy colors, and I think I made her a quilt last year. Or was it the year before? I think it was the year before. It's the teal one. It was a Long Arm Wednesday project. Okay. Now let's press. Let's say press open. Go all the way down. One side and then come up on the top side. Okay, now it says to trim the top excess of C in line with both angles of the tops of pieces of A. So let's just do a little here, a little, because we're a little shy. Hopefully that works. Doesn't really get us a super tight top, but all right. So there we go. That's so cute so far. And now let's do The D goes first, so the D goes the long way with the little round part there. So let's go that, and then that gets pressed up, and then the C should cap it off quite nicely. Here's hoping. We'll finish the one first. Then you can see. And of course, if you had different colored backgrounds, that would still make it pop out. Great for a kid's quilt, whether it be boy or girl. You know, I think I might do one of these maybe later in the year for our Quilt of Valor. That would be kind of nice. A little bit of a modern touch with some big empty spaces. I think a gray would look lovely. All right, so there we go. There's that. Do a little finger press and add C. The C. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. The long side goes down. Across the top. Of course, you can put a pin in if you need to. I think I might actually, it's going to shift in just a little bit on me here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. And then the other bits, the this F1 and F2 that we taped together, help form out the rest of it to block it out, so it ends up being like a rectangular block. Okay, now let's lay these so we have them right. Should be the widest part up at the top, because the widest part is at the bottom on this project, and if we want to square it out, that's what we're going to have to do. There we go. Okay, so those get attached to either side. Okay, first let's clean up some of those little hairy ears there. Okay. And then we'll line it up and give it a pin. There we go. Do that side, and then we'll do the next. And here's hoping you guys try this pattern. I think it'd make great placemats. You know, a big feather with an empty spot underneath, like a feather at the top, maybe their name embroidered or stitched along the stem of the feather. Oh, use their favorite fabrics. Use the fabrics you used to make their clothes as they were growing up. You know, little memories. Placemat, chair cover, pillow. Two of them on a throw pillow would be pretty. Make a nice reversible throw. That would be lovely. And even as a wall hanging. Okay, so there's one side. We'll do the next, and then we'll give it a press. A little fluffs in there. Okay, I'm still going to put a pin at the top and a pin at the bottom, just to kind of keep everybody in check. Don't want anything shifting too much. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you on Long Arm Wednesday. All right. There we go. That is lovely. And of course, you know, if you can have it so much fabric, you can plan it out so the feathers are pointing the same direction. Like this is kind of, you know, they're going this way, but nonetheless, you know, tweak it to suit you. I only had so much, and I thought I was actually going to get it better laid out, but I didn't. But that's okay. Life happens. Life happens. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. And then of course you're just going to square this up. Well, too, so the sides are nice and square. Okay, it's lovely. All right, so what does that measure? It measures, what is it, 9.5 by 18. 9.5 by, well, 17, 18, somewhere in there. Squaring it up. Let's do that now. Okay. And then just make sure they're all the same when you attach them. Okay. Okay, there. And then a little trimming on both sides here to even them out. We'll keep it at 9.5, so it was just a little bit bigger than the 9.5. But that's all right. Just a little bit on that side. Okay. And straight up. Okay, there we go. And that is our little feather block. And then I'll make the other one and put it all together. And then you'll see it. I've already lost a piece. Oh, here it is. It's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. So like I said, free pattern by Anna Marie Horner, and it's a 2012, and it says for personal use. So I'm using this for personal use. So I'm not doing anything else with it. And patchwork instructions, beautiful colored images here, assembling your quilt, and what you're going to need for backing approximately for the baby, the twin, the queen, and the king. And then there's the application variation. So this is a fantastic free pattern. So hopefully you check it out, and I'd love to see some of your work in the Mafia group. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the day, and I will see you next time. Have fun. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon. Don't forget to thumbs up. Bye, everybody. Take care.